Hi, mamas. I'm Isabel. I'm your mother's empowerment coach. Happy Monday and welcome to a mommy moment. Mommy moments are when I come to you sharing a bit of wisdom or a tip that will help enliven your own life. Because here at Mommy Circle, we're all about putting ourselves, our me, back at the center of mommy, right? So, how does that show up for you? Where are you not putting yourself at the center of your own life? Where are you missing? Where are pieces of you missing in your own life? Today, we're going to be talking about comparison. This seems to be showing up a lot these days, especially with school starting again. Our kids are comparing themselves to others, their routines to others' routines, their backpacks to other backpacks, their school lunches to other kids' school lunches. So I think it's a good time to get into the nitty gritty of this comparison game. Compare and despair as far as I'm concerned. So we can't ask our kids to stop comparing themselves to others if we are not willing to do it for ourselves. And I think that this game starts, pre-mom, pre-pregnancy, in our own childhoods, right? So I invite you to consider where comparison showed up in your family of origin. Were you compared to your brothers and sisters, or possibly to your parents, specifically your own mom? How did comparison show up for you in your own life? And then can you see kind of breadcrumbs to where you find yourself comparing yourself to others in your current circumstances? Let me know in the comments if you see that little breadcrumb trail. And really, the first part of letting go of comparison is noticing it. So we can't let go of something if we don't acknowledge that it's there. So this is my inquiry into where am I comparing personally in my own life, and I'm happy to share that with you. And then you can just notice if there are any similarities that you experience in your own life. So here are some clues that you have been comparing yourself to others. If you think that you or your child are worse off than someone else. Also, concerns about size, weight, um, developmental cues, developmental, like where people are, whether it's yourself or your child on the developmental scale, right? These are clues. Another clue is, what do you find that you are comparing your outside to somebody, your inside to somebody else's outside? So these are all clues. So let me know if those clues are showing up for you in your life as a mom or in your marriage. I really want to know. And then we will begin to discuss some strategies. So once you notice the clue or the way that comparison is kind of eating away at your psyche, then from that point we can feel empowered and we can do something about it. So the first thing that we can do if we notice comparison creeping in is that we can keep in mind that our children's development is not an extension of our parenting skills. So I know that my daughter walked late. She did a lot of her gross motor skills later than other children. And I began to feel like it was a reflection on me, on my parenting skills. Was I somehow deficient? And is that the reason that she wasn't reaching all these milestones at the same time as her peers? And so that really brought me into my own compare and despair. And so I just encourage you to notice first if this is happening. And then two, to realize that actually, factually, this is just not true. If we can if if we can avoid comparing our children to other children, we've won the game. Another win is that if we can avoid comparing our children to ourselves. So I also have a daughter that looks strikingly like me. Everyone always says, "You've got your little mini me there." And while this is very sweet, it just invites comparison, and it invites me to project myself onto her. And while we do have many similarities in our temperament and our physical makeup, we're different people. And so I really need to remind myself of that fact, that this little child is not me. She came from my body, but she is not a mini me. And I also need to remind myself to stop bragging when she does meet milestones quickly. For instance, Grace was talking before her peers. And so, to make up for some insecurities, I found myself bragging, "Oh, Grace is telling stories at 1.5 years old." And if I put myself up high on this pedestal, it just gives me more distance to fall when I'm comparing myself to other mothers, or when I'm comparing my child to other children. So again, I just am encouraging myself to avoid the bragging, right? Because that can be equally as damaging. And then lastly, I avoid praising my kids. So rather than say, "Oh, Grace, look at your beautiful picture. I love it. Look how pretty it is." I find it's more meaningful to her and also to me to praise her effort. So instead, I would say, "Oh, I see that you made a rainbow. That must have been you worked really hard on that. Tell me about it. Tell me about the colors you used." You see how there's a difference there? I'm not comparing this picture to another picture, or this picture to what my vision of what she should be drawing is. I'm just wondering. I'm in the space of wonder. And that is so different from comparing. Being curious and comparing are so different. The quality is so different. So another way to avoid comparison is to surround yourself with like-minded people. So that way you're not needing to make them understand your way, because they share a similar perspective. For instance, how you discipline your child. If you discipline through timeouts and your friend doesn't do timeouts, then there can be a contention around that. So, what if we just invite people into our lives who show similar perspectives that we do? Now, this isn't always available to us, right? We can't always share the exact same perspective with everyone around us. But if we spend a lot of time with someone with opposite ideas, especially around parenting, it can begin to make us feel down, or like we're not doing it right. And I really hope that this space that I've created here for us, Mommy Circle, is a place where we can find those like-minded mamas. And if you find one that you click with, I just invite you to message them, private message them, and go into more depth in your conversations if you like. This is a place where moms who like that depth of conversation are attracted. So if you find someone, just invite them to go deeper with you and ask their opinions and ask for their advice. And then my last piece of advice is to let your friends who have differing opinions feel like they have won. In other words, feel like they are doing what's right for them, because they are, right? We all know what's best for our children. And so, again, if you have a friend who feeds their children dessert after every dinner, and you have decided that that's not something in your family values, you can just let your friend know that what she's doing is the right thing for her, right? You don't have to do it yourself, alleviates any need to make yourself right or wrong, right? Because we can all be right when we let the comparisons go and we just let what is right for our family values rise to the surface. So I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, I invite you to share it and also leave a comment on how comparisons show up in your life. And if you need help around dealing with a specific comparison, you can reach out to me. I'm happy to do some guiding in that realm, and you can find me at mom-me circle/contact. Okay, mamas, I look forward to seeing you on another mommy moment. Take care.